This is a picture of a swan. White, elegant, and beautiful. However, in China's latest and greatest looks-maxing obsession, we don't have handsome men aggressively thrusting their pelvic muscles.
Hey, calm down. I think you're gonna break my skin. I think you're gonna break my skin. Oh.
What we have instead is Chinese netizens who, God knows why, are now going under the knife to replicate the long and majestic elongated neck of a swan. I am dead serious. Chinese beauty trends on Douyin never cease to amaze me in just how far they're able to push the envelope in terms of the sheer extremities when it comes to body modifications.
这个引流出来一点点，有一点都有好处。
If looking like a child and looking like a kid wasn't extreme enough, some netizens are now going as far as to go through a process called submental liposuction, where surgeons remove localized fat deposits along the jawline and neck to sharpen the angle between the chin and the throat. Submental liposuction. I can see why they name it that, because this procedure is just mental. The goal of this procedure isn't actually to make your neck any longer, because you can't really extend your spine, can you?
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Instead, the idea is to create the illusion of a more slender neckline by reducing the size of the surrounding tissue to be as small as possible. It's absolutely absurd because these netizens want a neck so long that you'd likely mistake them for something swimming around in a botanical garden. To give you a bit of context into what this procedure entails, a surgeon makes a tiny incision underneath your chin and slides a thin tube inside the incision to suction out the excess fat between your skin and your jawline. Some clinics go as far as to use an ultrasound assisted method where doctors heat the surrounding area and liquefy the fat for a more precise result. Pause. So you're telling me that Chinese surgeons have access to some of the smartest minds and latest technological innovations, and instead they've pulled together their brain power to create an ultrasound technology to help netizens look like a swan? China. Look, it's no secret that the skin around your neck is one of the most delicate places across your entire body. And if by chance the surgeon makes a mistake, you may be left with small suctions of raised abrasions around your neck area, which gives you the appearance similar to cobblestone. Congratulations, you've just paid Chinese Johnny Sins 5 figures to look like a medieval European alleyway. I mean, if you don't believe me, just have a quick Google search and the list of complications just goes on and on. Internal bleeding, fluid buildup, and in the worst case scenarios, some netizens even complain of skin necrosis, where the tissue around your neck area dies due to the lack of blood supply. Not my cup of tea.
Would you rather be a hobo with a 5% chance of getting inherited by a rich guy, or
suffer from skin necrosis as a result of dumbass procedures?
Back in my day, the only time your neck would be bruised is when you were lucky enough to get a hickey. I mean, forget hickeys and love bites. In China, bruised skin from the dead tissue as a result of neck surgery is now all the rave amongst Chinese netizens. Hickeys, love bites, and antagonizing clips of stray kids aside, what a lot of young women who think about going through this procedure don't realize is that attached to your neck structure is your mandibular and great auricular nerve, which controls the muscles in your lower lip as well as the sensation around your ear and jawline. Both of these nerves run mockingly close to the exact area the surgeon uses to insert a thin metal tube inside your neck. I mean, if the tube nicks, stretches, or so as much bruises the mandibular angular nerve during the procedure. Licensed doctors warn that netizens can end up with a lopsided smile, where one side of your mouth simply refuses to cooperate anymore. It's ironic in a sense because these young women pay thousands of dollars to look like a swan, and instead they walk out of the surgery clinic looking like they've just experienced their first stroke.
Peter, are you winking at me?
Beyond the possibility for, you know, permanent and long-term facial nerve damage, netizens who go through the neck thinning process often complain about long recovery times where throbbing of the neck area is intensified by the swelling and bruising of the tender skin. Some young women are even subjected to compression garments for months at a time, where medical bandages are strapped so tightly around their chin and throat that showering, sleeping, and eating solid food all become a genuine logistical challenge. I mean, who knew cosplaying Egyptian mummies in the Big 26 is still considered cool? While the recovery process is often described as long and painful, some netizens on Weibo even post about the numbness surrounding their neck as feeling quote-unquote itchy but untouchable, almost as if there was an invisible mosquito pecking at your tender skin. I don't know about you, but I am struggling to comprehend how these young women are willing to go through so much pain and suffering just to look like this. Don't forget, kids, patience is a virtue and beauty is pain.
Stewie, you know, I've been thinking about this whole, oh my God, what happened to your face?
If removing the excess fat surrounding the edges of your neck tissue wasn't extreme enough, some genius Chinese doctor decided the next best way to accentuate the swan neck is to compress the trapezoid muscles in a way that accentuates the swan neck without actually having to lengthen the neck itself. The idea behind this procedure is to essentially inject Botox directly into the upper fibers of your trapezius, which essentially paralyzes the tissue muscles and tricks it into shrinking.
What do you mean by that?
The theory, at least, is that a muscular trapezius makes your neck look short and your shoulders look wide. And so the fix, according to millions of educated influencers on Douyin, is simple. Inject Botox directly into the trapezius so that the muscle itself can't contract properly anymore. And when your shoulder muscles shrink, your neck suddenly appears longer. Call it the art of illusion, if you will.
How about a magic trick?
Look, I may have become desensitized, but I got to be honest. After the amount of unhinged beauty procedures I've witnessed on Douyin, a simple Botox injection doesn't seem that bad in comparison to cutting your bones and stitching your nerves back together. No cutting and definitely no bone saws. Just a small needle and roughly 3 months of patience, while your trapezius muscle slowly shrivels from disuse and you end up with a 90-degree shoulder and a protruding neckline. Some netizens on Xiaohongshu have even coined this procedure traptox, reflective of the Botox being injected into your trapezoid muscles. Can someone tell me why traptox sounds like the love child between gangster rap and 5th gen K-pop? Have we lost the plot? Maybe. Are we on the brink of discovering the next genre of viral music? Quite possibly as well. However, something tells me that if Tupac was still alive, we'd have the greatest collaboration in modern musical symphony we've ever witnessed. Gangster rap jokes aside, to understand why Chinese netizens are so willing to have their necks surgically re-engineered, we must firstly take a step back and understand the wider cultural context. Because China's obsession with the swan neck isn't about the neck itself, but rather the posture, hierarchy, and the ongoing cultural obsession for young Chinese women to look delicate, refined, and elegant.
为什么呀？因为我是一个带货博主，卖项链的，平时呢就比较注重这一块的一个状态。
What?
Popular Chinese media has spent decades conditioning young women on how they should look and how they should act. But it's important to understand that there's a sharp distinction between cultural nuances and cultural obsessions of forcing young women to go through such extreme procedures. Look, having great posture is a great thing, and I will openly admit that I spend half my days hunched over my laptop like a prawn. So in a way, I can appreciate where the message is coming from. Believe it or not, there's actually an entire industry of posture academies in China where licensed physios teach women how to walk, sit, and hold their neck in a certain way to exude an essence of elegance. And look, I am all for it. Compared to going under the knife and injecting Botox to paralyze your trapezoid muscles, these classes don't seem like that bad of a comparison. However, somewhere along the way, the messenger must have gone a completely different route, because tell me why we now have netizens willingly injecting Botox into their trapezoid muscles and paying thousands of dollars for liposuction procedures just to look like the Grinch.
Hello.
To be abundantly clear, these procedures aren't cheap either. Clinics are quoting liposuction packages anywhere from $8,000 US all the way up to $30,000, depending on the complexity of the procedure. For that price, you could probably buy yourself a nice car and a luxurious holiday. But for young women in China, they've decided to purchase perpendicular shoulders and the neckline of a swan.
Nice.
Look, at the end of the day, each of us are our own unique, individualistic human beings with a beautiful thing called free will. Autonomy matters, and I'm not here to tell a grown woman what to do with her own neckline. Good posture is a great thing, but if you want to apply extreme beauty standards to your own body, please, for the love of God, go to a regulated clinic and have a consultation with a licensed doctor. Ask the right questions and understand what the long-term complications of these procedures actually entail so that you can make an informed decision. Look, I don't think it takes a genius to come to the conclusion to not get this procedure done at the pop-up store next to the bubble tea counter. If you took anything away from this video, be it that gangster rap and K-pop might just be the next genre of viral music.
Bad boys, fuck for life.